Israel. Beautiful port city of Haifa. At the heart of it, a wonderful city, is one of the pearls of humanity's achievement, the Baha'i Temple, surrounded by magnificent gardens. What are these strange gardens? Who created them? Why? Who are the Bahais, and why did they build the Paradise Gardens in Israel? Where do they come from, and what do Bahais carry to humanity? Let's start with geography, and then plunge into history. Haifa, situated on Mount Carmel, holds religious significance for various faiths including Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Druze, and the Baha'i faith. The city overlooks the Mediterranean Sea, which lies directly in front of us. To the north, across the sea, is the ancient city of Acre, also known as Akko. On our right side, we can see the picturesque mountains of Galilee, where the city of Nazareth is located. Nazareth holds immense importance for Christianity as it is traditionally considered the hometown of Jesus Christ. The Baha'i history began in 1844 year in Persia in the city of Shiraz, present-day Iran. In 1844 year, a young merchant Said Ali Muhammad appeared in Persia. Years of life, from 1819 to 1850 year, who declared himself a prophet of a new religion, a new faith. He called himself Bab, which means gate in Arabic, and he explained it this way. I am the gateway of the new religion, through me it will enter the world. Declaring himself a prophet, Bab spoke of such principles of the new religion as equality of opportunities for the sexes, the complete equality of man and woman. The next principle of the new religion was the complete rejection of violence. God is absolutely one for everyone, and he is the source of all world religions. Such wonderful words were said by Bab, and soon he had a lot of followers. Bab said that he was sent by God to prepare humanity for a new era and the emergence of another, even greater messenger than himself. The Baha'is consider Bab to be the predecessor of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah is the founder of the Baha'i faith. The teachings of Bab, who called for moral and spiritual renewal, led to a conflict with the authorities and the clergy of that time. The official authorities of Persia declared him an enemy. He was imprisoned and soon executed. In 1850 year, Bab was publicly shot in the central square of Tabriz. The country's authorities did not want the new religion's followers to gather for pilgrimage. The body of Bab was abandoned and it was forbidden to bury him in Persia. But Bab's disciples hid the body and kept it for 60 years in various secret places. His remains were secretly moved from place to place. And only in the 1909th year, Bab was buried on Mount Carmel in Haifa. He continued the teachings of Bab Mirza Hussein al-Nuri, years of life 1817th, 1892, who called himself Baha'u'llah, which in Arabic means the shining of the Lord. Baha'u'llah comes from the oldest and richest family in Persia. Baha'u'llah is the founder of the Baha'i faith. He promises that the new religion will believe in peace, in equality between all peoples, all religions, all skin colors. All people are absolutely equal and must live peacefully and in harmony. He proclaimed that the maturity of mankind was approaching. The basic principles of faith are the deliverance of all forms of prejudice, the complete equality of man and woman, the recognition of the common origin and deep unity of all religions of the world. Baha'u'llah preached the eradication of poverty and spoke of universal wealth, compulsory education for all people. In the early 20th century, followers of the new religion arranged for Bab's body to be smuggled from Persia to what is now Israel, and Bab was buried there 60 years after his death. Shortly before his death, Bab announced that a second prophet would appear, that he, Bab, was only a forerunner, and that the second prophet will be more important, more greater. He said, I am only the gateway to this faith, because after me there will be a prophet who will be greater than I, and this prophet will give religion and faith to all peoples in the world, the whole world. In the year 1863, a second prophet appeared, also from Persia. As we said earlier, he declared himself, called himself Baha'u'llah, which means the radiance of the Lord or the divine radiance. And hence the word Baha'i, meaning radiant. It was Baha'u'llah who became the founder of the Baha'i religion. The authorities of Persia again prohibited the new religion and tried to execute Baha'u'llah. But, They can't do it because he has a very strong, rich and powerful family. Therefore, the authorities of Persia only send Baha'u'llah to the Ottoman Empire. During that time, the Ottoman Empire, which was Turkish, ruled over almost the entire Middle East. But, on the land of the Ottoman Empire, Baha'u'llah continues to spread its new religion. He talks about the peace, about equality of opportunities, about harmony. People go after him again, believe in him, listen. The Ottomans also cannot allow Baha'u'llah to preach, they also cannot execute him, but they come up with an ingenious idea. They put him in the farthest terrible prison on the land of the empire, where he will no longer know, where everyone will forget him, where this religion will disappear forever. They imprison Baha'u'llah in the city of Acre near Haifa. He has been in Acre prison for 3 years. 3 years later, he manages to persuade the Ottomans to let him go and they let him go. He buys a house 2 kilometers north of Acre, where he spends his final years. Baha'u'llah writes books, he spreads religion to the people, to the world, as he promised. Baha'u'llah lived to the age of 75 and was buried in the same place where he lived and is still the holiest Baha'i site around the world. Just as Jews pray towards Jerusalem, just as Muslims pray towards Mecca, Baha'is, no matter where they are in the world, will always pray towards Acre. Therefore, the tomb of the founding prophet of the Baha'i religion is located near the city of Acre in Israel. While in Acre, Baha'u'llah decided that the first prophet Bab should be buried on Mount Carmel in the city of Haifa. Why on Mount Carmel? Imagine that for about 25 years Baha'u'llah lived in Acre and from the walls of the prison he looked at this mountain. Mount Carmel is perfectly visible from Acre, it is a very beautiful view. Having visited this mountain once, he said, "The place is right. But there's another reason. Mount Carmel is a sacred site associated with the prophet Elijah. On Mount Carmel is the cave of the prophet Elijah. The prophet Elijah fought pagan religions and was one of the first prophets to preach the one God. And the Baha'is are also for one God. Therefore, you can understand the choice of Baha'u'llah. So it happens that today Israel has 2 sacred places for the Baha'i religion. There are no more, only here. There are about 6 million Baha'is worldwide today. But, the only country that does not have a Baha'i community is Israel. There are holy places, the administrative center, but there is no Baha'i community in Israel and never will be. Baha'u'llah said that here the land is holy and it does not matter who will rule this land. Here the Baha'i community will never be so as not to bring discord between religions. Therefore, the Israelites cannot be Baha'is. It doesn't matter if they're Jewish or Christian or Muslim. Israelis cannot be Baha'is and Baha'is cannot be Israelis. Baha'is believe in one God, it is the youngest monotheistic religion in the world. It has only existed for about 170 years. Baha'is believe that all who believe in God believe in the same God. He's one and that's it. In other words, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and others all believe in the same God. There is only one God, who is the source of all religions. He created our human race. We are all one race and should not be divided by skin color or language. We are all one people. We have only one country, and that is our planet Earth. We are all its citizens. There should be full equality of opportunity for men and women, with no oppression anywhere. Since God is one for all religions, Baha'is consider all prophets, such as Abraham, Moses, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, Zarathustra, Bab, and Baha'u'llah, to be true and right. Baha'is believe that God is alone and has sent all the prophets. Although many religions were created, they did not all exist simultaneously in the same country. They lived in different centuries, in different parts of the earth, and did not communicate with each other, resulting in the creation of different religions. However, the rules remain the same, the laws of God. These include principles such as not killing, not stealing, and respecting one's parents. There are many commonalities among religions. Therefore, there is no point in conflict or determining which religion is better. Baha'is believe that different religions can be compared to different chapters of one large book. They consider their religion the last chapter, more modern, addressing the needs of contemporary people in the modern language. Baha'is also believe that more prophets will appear in the future, but the details of their number and location are unknown. This ongoing process may bring a future prophet to renew the religion and bring a new message to humanity. The Baha'i Gardens in Haifa city were built between 1989 and 2001 year. The Baha'is aimed to create magnificent gardens resembling a paradise garden, serving as a remarkable pilgrimage site. The doors are open for everyone to see and admire the beauty of the gardens and to learn about the Baha'i teachings. The Baha'i Gardens in Haifa are divided into 19 terraces, 9 terraces below, 1 central terrace with the temple, and 9 terraces above. The central part is the largest. In the middle of the garden, there is a temple. Although it resembles a temple, it is actually a tomb, the burial place of the Bab, the forerunner of the Baha'i religion. Baha'u'llah, while in prison in Akkar, saw the holy significance of Mount Carmel, and he requested his son Abdul-Baha to bring the remains of the Bab to be buried in this place. Abdul-Baha fulfilled his father's wish in 1909th year, burying the Bab on Mount Carmel and creating a small garden around the tomb. Abdul-Baha dreamed of expanding the gardens from the bottom to the top of the mountain, and this dream gradually became a reality. The first stage was completed in 1953 year with the construction of the tomb in Haifa and the surrounding gardens. The construction of the gardens started from the bottom of the mountain in 1989 year, with the road leading to the port, and finished at the upper entrance in 2001 year. The entire rebuilding process took 12 years. If you enter the temple, you will find 3 floors and a dome. The ground floor is the original construction of the tomb, built in 1900 years. It differs in style, stone, and overall appearance from the construction of the second and third floors, completed in 1953 year. Construction took place gradually. The white-domed building is the Baha'i Parliament, known as the World House of Justice. Baha'i community leaders serve as members of Parliament, which is a council. The Baha'i Parliament is a council of 9 Baha'is elected democratically. It is customary for parliamentary terms to last 5 years, with re-elections held at the end of each term. As a result, members of parliament from different countries are required to communicate in English. Where does the Baha'i community get the money? These are donations. Baha'is themselves sacrifice. These are ordinary Baha'is, ordinary people who go to work. Baha'is do not accept donations from other people and organizations, only those who practice the Baha'i religion can donate. They have to provide for themselves. So they decided. The Baha'is have an account with one of Israel's banks. This is the central account where all funds are accumulated. The World House of Justice is responsible for their distribution. A building with a large green roof is an archive building. There, Baha'is keep very important documents and manuscripts of their prophets. Manuscripts are mainly in Arabic and Persian. But, today's Baha'is live in different countries. Almost every country has a Baha'i community and speaks different languages. Therefore, the main Baha'i books have been translated into many languages of the world, about 800 languages. The number of terraces in the Baha'i garden corresponds to 19 and corresponds to the number of the very first Baha'is. There were 19. The forerunner prophet Bab had 18 first disciples. Therefore, there is symmetry in everything. Symmetry, as an equality symbol. The left side of the Baha'i garden is equal to the right side. As soon as the sun sets, all the light bulbs, all the lighting in the Baha'i garden turns on. Light bulbs are on all night. Each light bulb is equal in power to 1 candle. Why is this the case? Thus the Baha'is paid tribute to Bab, their first prophet, who is buried here in the gardens. Once Bab spent 3.5 years in prison in an underground cell without light, in the dark. He asked himself for a candle for lighting, which was occasionally brought to him. But, most of the time, Bab sat in pitch darkness. Now, after death, he has enough candles. Every night they burn until the morning. The Baha'i garden contains various other elements that attract attention. For example, peacocks or eagles. These elements have no religious significance. 8-pointed stars are just 8-pointed stars. Nothing special. This is not a sign of the Baha'i religion. In principle, Here in the gardens, there are no symbols of any religions. Everyone is welcome to come without feeling offended by the presence of symbols from another religion. The entire land of the Baha'i Garden was purchased before the Second World War, and Israel accepted their presence without much disruption. Israel entered into a treaty with the Bahais, which was signed shortly after the formation of the country. In total, there are 7 Baha'i temples worldwide, with each temple located on a different continent. However, it's important to note that Baha'i temples hold a unique significance, deviating from what is typically understood. As a general rule, temples are considered places of prayer and worship for representatives of various religions, where individuals gather to engage in different ceremonies. In contrast, Baha'i temples have a distinct characteristic: they lack ceremonies and do not have any clergy, priests, or religious authorities. Additionally, Baha'i temples typically feature 9 entrances. These temples embrace a spirit of inclusivity and tolerance, allowing individuals from any religious background to pray at the Baha'i temple. This approach reflects their democratic and tolerant values. Bahais believe in the unity of religions, considering them as different manifestations of a single global faith. Baha'i temples are imbued with symbolism, represented by an ellipse intersected by 3 lines, with the 4th line intersecting the others perpendicularly. The upper line signifies God, the lower line represents humanity, and the middle line represents the prophets who serve as mediators between God and people. The primary motivation behind the construction of the Baha'i Gardens is the pilgrimage experience. Baha'i pilgrimage is undertaken in both Acre and Haifa, attracting believers from around the globe. Approximately 700 Baha'i volunteers from around the world actively contribute to the maintenance and operation of the Baha'i Gardens. These dedicated individuals reside here for periods ranging from 6 months to 5 years, undertaking various roles such as security guards, gardeners, and administrative tasks. After the designated period, the Baha'i volunteers return to their respective countries rather than staying as permanent residents like Israeli citizens. Out of the 100 gardeners working in the Baha'i Gardens in Haifa, 30 are Baha'i volunteers, while the remaining staff members are salaried Israeli employees. Bahais believe in the existence of one God and acknowledge the divine guidance provided by all the prophets throughout history. From Abraham to Muhammad, including Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, and Zarathustra, they see them as messengers of God who imparted the truth to humanity during their respective times. However, Bahais consider that the truths revealed by these past prophets were meant for specific eras and are not applicable to the present age. According to Baha'i teachings, the truth for today is found in the words of Baha'u'llah. It is important to note that this truth is not considered eternal, and it will evolve as new prophets arise and humanity becomes ready for their teachings. According to Baha'i belief, this occurrence is anticipated to take place in approximately 1,000 years. The Bahais possess their own holy book called the Al-Kitabul Aqdas, meaning the Most Holy Book. It was authored by Baha'u'llah in Arabic. Today, it has been translated into over 800 languages, enabling Bahais from diverse backgrounds to engage in prayer and study in their native languages. In the Baha'i faith, it is encouraged for believers to engage in prayer at least once a day. Unlike other religious traditions with specific places of worship, such as synagogues, churches, or mosques, Bahais have the freedom to pray wherever they choose. The important consideration is that the place is clean, and during prayer, the individual's face is directed towards the Baha'i holy place of Acre. In the Baha'i faith, the holy places are adorned with gardens that emphasize beauty and symmetry. The presence of symmetrically placed elements, such as palm trees on both sides or symmetrical cypress trees, can be observed throughout the gardens. Beauty is highly valued as an essential aspect of these holy places. Therefore, it is important to note that the statues of peacocks, eagles, and stars that you may encounter in the gardens hold no specific religious meaning in the Baha'i faith. They are solely present to enhance the beauty of the surroundings. The archive building serves as a repository for the manuscript of the Holy Book and personal records of the prophets in the Baha'i faith. Its architectural design, resembling a Greek temple, is primarily intended for aesthetic purposes and to enhance its beauty. In the Baha'i faith, Individuals have the freedom to marry whomever they choose, regardless of the religious beliefs of their partner. It is important to note that being born into a Baha'i family does not automatically make a child a Baha'i. A child born into a Baha'i family has the freedom to choose their own religion when they reach the age of 15. At that point, the Baha'i community respects the individual's decision and supports them in their chosen path. The tomb within the Baha'i garden showcases a unique architectural blend. The ground floor is constructed in the Ottoman Muslim style, reflecting the Eastern influence, while the second floor features stained glass, reminiscent of Western church designs. This combination symbolizes the unity of the East and West, depicting them under the same sky and beneath the same dome. The tomb serves as a powerful reminder of the Baha'i principle of fostering peaceful coexistence and harmony among all people. The Baha'i temple in Haifa consists of approximately 1,500 steps. As tourists descend these steps, they can observe the grove, which has been meticulously planted and maintained by Baha'i gardeners. This grove serves a purpose. During the 12-year construction period of the temple, local animals, insects, and birds were disturbed and displaced from their habitats. In response, the Baha'i community created a new home for these creatures, providing them with a welcoming environment to return to. These are the Bahais. Thank you for taking us on this virtual tour of the Baha'i faith. If I have learned something new during our journey, I will certainly consider subscribing to the channel and liking the content. The message of living peacefully, equally, and in harmony is indeed valuable and important for all of us. Thank you for sharing this information with me.